Hello there. Labour MPs are desperate to get the UK back inside the European Union, even if it means that we'd be forced to ditch the pound in the process. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily, and a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. So, Labour MPs are so desperate to rejoin the EU that they're badgering their party leader Keir Starmer to get him to commit the party to a rejoin the EU policy. This comes after nearly 40 MPs defied Starmer's instructions to back the Tory Brexit deal and abstained or voted against it instead. The rebellion also spread to the Labour leader's frontbench, with The Guardian reporting Tonia Antoniazzi, the MP for Gower, Helen Hayes, the Dulwich and West Norwood MP, and Florence Eshalomi, the MP for Vauxhall, resigned from their junior frontbench posts so as to abstain, as MPs voted on the legislation implementing the agreement. And now the Express is reporting that the Labour MP for Canterbury, Rosie Duffield, is claiming that the members of the Labour frontbench that did vote for the Tory deal did so with heavy hearts, and also that they have not given up on rejoining the European Union. Talking to the HuffPost, Ms Duffield, who resigned as a party whip after breaching COVID rules, said that this would not be an immediate thing. The dust needs to settle first. But she did say that there would be moves to shift the party leadership towards rejoining the EU in the coming years. Possibly we might even have a different sort of setup, a different leader by then. Who knows, she said. She also said that getting back into the EU in dribs and drabs by joining the single market first would also be acceptable to her, as would joining the Euro be. Now this might just be one MP talking, and one that's come under recent fire for a certain tweet, which I'll leave you to research. But she will have been talking to many of her colleagues, and we all know how the Labour liberal elite champagne socialists feel about the European Union. Their grassroots might not want to rejoin, but give the leaders a tenth of a chance, and those at the top would use every artifice in the book to achieve it. So when she says the Remainers, now rejoiners, have not gone away, then I think it's safe to assume that they're still there. And they will also still be infesting the other areas of the establishment, like within the civil service. And the fact she talks so easily about dropping sterling in favour of the euro should worry anyone who truly loves the UK. But the good news for Brexiteers is that the rejoiners now face a mountain of problems. The first being, would the EU actually want us back inside their bloc? Don't get me wrong, some will. But there will also be many who will look on the return of their troublesome neighbour with more horror than anything else. Euroscepticism is on the rise across the European Union, so the thought of another hard core of Brexiteer MEPs hitting their parliament would be more than many could bear. Then there's the criteria for joining the EU. Article 49 of the Lisbon Treaty governs the joining process, and I will point out that there is no rejoining procedure, only joining. We can't just slot in where we left off, because so much will have changed since we left. And just like the Article 50 process was a long and painful negotiation, so would joining under Article 49 be. The conditions of admission and the adjustments to the treaties on which the Union is founded, which such admission entails, shall be the subject of an agreement between the Member States and the applicant state, it says. And I would surmise that the only permissible route to our re-entry would be abject and total surrender to all requirements and conditions. Full on, with joining the Eurozone and the Schengen zone, and absolutely no talk about rebates. And once again paying double for the privilege. I do have to ask, how on earth do the rejoiners think they can swing that one? How do they think they can convince people to accept that? Our previous membership was the culmination of decades of employing the boiling the frog slowly concept. But this would be a massive one-time leap, and there would be no way back this time. Brussels would make sure during any negotiations that we were locked irreversibly into our EU dungeon. And to compound the damage to the UK, just as before in the run-up to the Common Market, Maastricht and Lisbon, the UK politicians in charge of negotiating our entry would be so keen to get it done that they would sign anything, sign away absolutely anything to get it done. And the British public would see that unfolding right before their eyes. It would be very hard to hide it this time. But then there's the problem of referendums and the like. Would the rejoiners just stand on a general election platform of taking us in, and if they win, get on with it? Well, that's how they'd like it to be. But surely even in that scenario, with all the previous calls by the Remainers for second and confirmatory referendums and the like, surely there would have to be a confirmatory vote on any deal for entry that they agreed, before it could be ratified. The public would insist on it. Anyway, there are currently no tailbacks of lorries in Kent or all those other Brexit horrors that the Remain side told us would happen. And although there have been some teething problems in the last week, I would bet they'll be sorted out quite quickly. And once ordinary folk get used to our sovereign new normal, which won't take long, I doubt anyone but the most ardent of pro-EU campaigners will give it a second thought. Because most people can't afford to spend months touring their second and third homes across the EU. Most cannot afford to study abroad. Most will be lucky to get a 2-week holiday outside the UK, and the limiting factor for that will not be Brexit. Overall, I think that the rejoiners will have a very hard time trying to sell the European Union and the Euro to the electorate in the coming months and years. It used to attract some people because it was bright, shiny and new. For them it was all a magical, fresh project. But over the last few years we started seeing the grottiness behind the Brussels facade, and I don't think a veneer of rejoiner varnish will do much to mask that. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below, and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So, do you think the rejoiners will have much luck? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.